Today I want to share with you my favorite types of brushes. Aloha! Great to have you back again. It's Caleigh Bird. Welcome back to the studio. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my favorite kinds of brushes. I will just sort of basically be talking about the different sizes and shapes that I use in my paintings, and then I'll do a little bit of a demo on this painting that I'm actually working on now. First things first though, I don't really have any favorite kinds of brands. What I really like is whatever I can afford at the time that feels decent, and then I just kind of try to take care of my brushes as best I can so that they last a while. So as far as favorite brands, nothing in particular, just whatever feels good to you. Learn a little something today, pretty please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will keep the videos coming for you. Okay, so this is how we're gonna do it. I am going to give a little chit chat about my favorite styles of brushes, and I'm going to show you these big giant ones because they're going to be a lot easier to see than this, you know what I mean? So first up, one of the types that I use probably more than anything are the flats. I really like the different flats. I actually use most of the big ones just for background purposes, you know, when I want some really nice even coverage, but I love the smaller ones so much. Like if you notice in my videos, I tend to have like 8 brushes going at once all over the place. I like to have a brush for kind of each tone and then kind of mix within them as well. But I just really love the flats. I feel like I know exactly what I'm going to get with a flat, so to speak. Sometimes I feel like with the rounds, they can kind of splay out and get bigger, and they'll dot, like, they'll give you like more dollops sometimes. I don't know if that makes sense on the canvas, but I feel like with the rounds, sometimes it's kind of a hit or a miss. With the flats, I feel like I really know what I'm doing. I can control direction really well. I feel like they're great for mixing, and I just feel like I know what I'm going to get. I pick a size, and I know that's the size I'm going to get on my, I say canvas, but I actually paint on linen, so I'm just going to say linen because that's what I do. So on my linen. So flats are awesome. Okay, so if there's anything I like more than a good flat, it's an even better filbert. And it's not just because of the sexy name, I mean, am I right? But just because I just love that you get both. You get the flat appeal of really knowing what you're going to get, but with the round, so of course, round, you're going to get softer edges. And I like the filbert because I can drag it and then I can also give it a good dab, and it's just so nice for giving more of like a textured mixing. But of course by textured mixing I mean something like this, so I don't even mean super rough, but a good filbert is just, oh, he's the best. And I really love all different sizes. I'll use all sizes in one painting, definitely. And actually when I was in France a couple of years ago studying for a few months, there was this so awesome, this like giant huge like cart, like old school bus thing that would come to the market once a week, and they would sell brushes and all kinds of painting supplies. So I got this out there. But these ones are cool because they have like a little point to them, and I've never seen any quite like this, although I haven't really looked since I've had them. But yeah, they're pretty frayed, but yeah, so those are like a little filbert deviation, but filbert, he's a good guy. He's definitely one of my very most favorite paint brushes. course, last but not least, who doesn't love a good round? I mean, I don't think you could even paint a very detailed painting without your trusty rounds. And these, of course, come in lots of different sizes. I really don't use the big giant ones of these, like, at all. I mean, unless I'm doing some kind of texture background, but it is so rare. I mean, I think I've had this paintbrush for like 6 years. It still looks practically brand new because I've only used it like 3 times. So, but I definitely use the smaller ones a lot. They're perfect, of course, you know, if you want to kind of get around in there. For any kind of detail work, you definitely need a round. Different lengths will hold different amounts of like liquid in there for paint and that kind of stuff. I don't use them as much for like covering full surfaces. Like even a big one, I would not use this. I would use, you know, my filbert or my flat for that. But these are great for kind of working in the areas once you get there, once a lot of things are filled in, or for working, you know, filling in smaller areas that don't require larger brushes. So every brush has its time and place, and definitely you need plenty of sizes of rounds in your collection. Hold on to all your old brushes, the old frayed, like jankety, like you don't want the stiff ones, nothing that's like caked and, you know, it needs to be able to be bending, of course, but the old frayed jankety brushes that you really can't use for detail anymore are perfect blending brushes. I always save these old ones until they're just like so bad. And of course you don't want to do an even blend on everything with these, because and even anything on any painting will make things tend to look flat, you know, so you want to use at your own discretion. But these are fantastic. I use these kind of brushes all the time for getting into certain areas or smoothing 2 colors, or, you know, whatever it is I need to do. These are the best blending brushes. You can't buy a good blending brush. You have to kind of make your own. Alright, so here are a couple of flats I'm going to show you. Got a smaller one and kind of a medium size. And remember I said I do love the flats. Oh, hello puppies. Hi. Hi, thanks for barking in the neighborhood. I do love a good flat though, because remember I was saying you get what you paid for, and that you're getting a line that is exactly the size and shape of the brush. You know, you might need to go in and fill in a little on the sides. I'm not using any medium just because I just wanted to kind of show you straight up what comes off. But if you notice that brush is like this, I mean the line is the same size and shape as the brush. So you really know what you're getting into. And the flats are great for kind of blocking in larger areas that you need to, and really kind of getting the job done in that sense. You can of course blend with any brush, just like you can, you know, if you have another color transition, you can blend with these. But these are really good for blocking in, getting straight. One thing that I do like about the flats too is you can kind of make a nice thinner line with them. Like almost like, it can be almost like a calligraphy or something with the edge of the flat. So that's sort of a neat little thing that they can do. But you know, you can't be super duper precise. This is gonna kind of be, you know, guesstimate, or, you know, if you want to kind of flourish it out or something like that. So flats, those are really interesting. You can do a lot with them, and I feel like they're very easy to control. And here we've got old Filbert coming in. Remember how much I said I loved old Filbert? He's my best friend. So if you got him coming in, Filbert is great for sort of dabbing around, really working it in there. I did add a little bit of medium to this because this was some paint I had out for a few days, so I just wanted to go ahead and use it for this. But if you see, he's really great. He's great at filling, of course, but also adding some texture, adding some sort of visual depth. Here we go. I'm going to do a little bit of this green. So this is not mixed with medium, so you can kind of see it laid on thickly. But Filbert, you don't really want him for lines and stuff. You want him more for fill. Filbert, oh my god. That's incredible. You want him for fill and for blending. So you can get in there, really kind of get things around, get things moving and shaking. That's what Filbert's good for. Filbert, he's kind of a party guy. He's good for getting things moving and shaking. Look at that. I love Filbert so much. He's such a good guy. And of course I also have a few rounds I want to show you. Kind of a small, medium, and large type thing. Well, small, medium, and large to me, of course. Large can get pretty darn large, so small, medium, and large for me. So, the smallest one, I love these. I use these in every painting for detail work. Come right in here, and you can see you get some nice detail in there, nice lines. Get right up in wherever you need to go. And this is actually even a larger fine brush. I have them that go all the way down to practically just a few hairs. I'm not even sure if you can really even see that. There we go. That's for the mega minutia. But I love that brush. Love both of these. These are great. So I usually recommend rounds for kind of setting parameters, or of course you can blend with any brushes. You can blend with these up in the corners if you need to, kind of thing, or for marking off certain areas. Of course, if you get a little there, I just dipped my brush in some paint thinner, you can get some much nicer, fuller lines and stuff like that. So these are good, and of course you can get a little bit bigger. You can get all the sizes. I like these because the rounds are good for sort of more distinct mark making, or some people choose to outline certain things, that kind of thing. So they're really good for that. But because of the tip, I don't know, I'm just not as fond of blending with these. When it comes to blending, anything that's bigger than like a tiny space, I just really prefer the other two. But these are great for getting in the corners. And of course, with any painting, you wind up using all three of these. And then of course we have a couple of blending brushes, and these can be all shapes and sizes. So these are perfect for after you've kind of gone in, established your colors, maybe started to do a little bit of blending on your own. These can kind of help give that last polished, really in there, Try to keep these pretty dry so that you are moving the paint and not applying paint, and that can just really help get all the colors just the way you want to be. So if I was to do a blend like that, I would come back in and do a little blend like this. But make sure you look down below in the show notes, because I will have a link to the blending video I just did about a week ago.